Take 3. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another adventure with the Bearded Bobber. And I'm in the middle of pretty much nowhere. 29 Palms, I think it still is. I don't know, somewhere. And we're on our way to Amboy. I don't know if I had put out the other video before or after, I don't know. But I was just out, needed to ride, and I just needed a long ride, you guys. This is the first time I've ever been like, you know what? I'm gonna go do 200 miles and just do 200 miles for no reason. Gas is cheap. I'm stuck in my house. I can't work. I figured go to the middle of nowhere, come back. So here I am. But before I did this trip, I put out on Instagram what topics you guys were looking for. And Mr. High Desert Bubber had a really good one. And one I've kind of thought about and wanted to kind of work around. But he asked me, what got me into writing and what it means to me. Now, I've kind of given this answer before, but I've never really dug into it. So, might as well do it now. So, to really dig into this, we have to start way back with a little bitty bobber. And, well, I grew up around bikers. And I mean the term bikers. You know, I could consider myself a biker, and anybody can consider themselves a biker. But when it comes down to, like, when people really try to break it down of the gangsters and the Sons of Anarchy and you know, the real deal McCoy, you know, I grew up around all that kind of stuff. And I mean, my parents got married in Big Bear. Everybody was there was on a Harley. I was on the back of a Harley, and I was like 5 or 6 years old or something. And that stuff sticks with you for a long time. Now here's the crazy thing. I'm in my 30s, and I only started riding 2 years ago. Now you may be going, what? Now I had, of course, ridden a couple dirt bikes and Honda little Mini 50 when I was a kid, and had quads and stuff like that. But I never got into the big boys until just a couple years ago. Always wanted to. It was there. Now this is not a reason, but it's just something that happened in my life. My mother passed away in a motorcycle accident. I'm not going to dig into that right now because it's emotional, okay? I didn't want to do it. And so, you know, some of you may go like, well, how can you even ride? You know, is that what kept you from riding? And it's not what kept me from riding. I love my mother. The guy who was riding, she was on the back of the bike. He's a great rider. He is a long experienced rider. I think there's more to the story of what actually happened. But I was a kid in Iowa, and I got pulled away. And, you know, we'll never know. Things happen. I'm always trying to be careful, wearing my helmet, blah, 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 blah. It's not something I'm digging into right now. So, time goes on. You know, this was 2001. I was still a child. And things just never came to be. You know, I didn't have any money, really. I've worked since I was 15. You know, small jobs or whatever. I earned my keep, and I lived with my aunt and uncle. Did high school. So I turned, what, 17 and a half? Moved to California because I thought that was a smart idea, okay? I wish my little camera was working so you guys could see me point at my face. You know, there's a lot of good things that came out of me moving to California. This is one of them. My wife, my kids, But Arizona had like this freedom to it, and I think that's a big reason I like motorcycles is that feeling again of freedom. Now, what do you mean Arizona has this freedom feel? It does. It really does. It's not crammed. It's not city. It's not just your neighbors are not on top of you. It's like this. Golden Valley, Arizona looks like this, okay? And if you've been through Golden Valley, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't know, it didn't come around. There at one time I was watching Sons of Anarchy. I think it was Sons of Anarchy, or I was watching some movie with my ex-wife, and me and my brother were like, motorcycles, you know, something came up and we're just like, man, I'd love to have that bike. And he's more of a naked cruiser, like our street bike guy, you know, the MZ09s and stuff like that. You know, we both were like, oh yeah, and our wives at the time were like, haha, no. Like, oh, okay. That didn't really have an effect on me at the time. I didn't even think about it. If I really, really wanted to ride, I would have thought about doing it more. But at the same time, I didn't have money for a motorcycle, and I didn't even think about it more because of that. You know, looking back, yeah, I probably could have found a little beater bike and really push it, but like I said, it just wasn't there. I wasn't grabbed and pulled back into the whole thing. And that may be weird looking, because now it's my life. You know, I have my family, I have my stuff, I do all that stuff, business, and I have this also that I'm really like sucked into, and I have a lot going on with it. But time went on, didn't think about it. You know, I see bikes here and there. My dad got a bike. It was a Softail. I don't remember which Softail it was. I'd have to look back. It might have been a lowrider. I don't remember. I gotta look back. Sorry, guys. So he got that bike, and I was like, damn. I'm like, I want to ride. And he had this bike he had gotten in trade a few years before that, and I was like, hey, can you not like sell this right away? Can we use it and I can learn how to ride? You know, it had been a long time for me to ride, so I was like, you know, I want to really get my feet going. I want to, you know, you don't jump on the treadmill at 9 miles an hour. You get on there like a step. Gotta walk before you can run sometimes, you know. And I wanted to take all the precautions because it is a dangerous sport. It's a livelihood that we all know has a dark past. So I was not looking at this like sunshine and rainbows. I was not like, woo, I can't get hurt doing any of this. No, because that wouldn't be smart, and I wanted to be smart about every step of the way. So leads me to the not being so smart. I saw a picture of the Indian Scout Bobber. I don't know, and then a video, and then more videos, and that Indian Scout Bobber, you guys know, that's where it all started. My heart was beating. I had to see it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Not one bit. I'm not exaggerating. It's all I talked about. Oh man. And I'm pretty sure I annoyed my roommates. I annoyed my, you know, now wife. But I saw it, and I showed Bombshell. Like, could you look at this thing, man? Like, also I had a truck at the time at 50, or still do, like 15 miles of the gallon. And so I looked at it and I told myself, man, if I had a bike, that would be amazing, you know, like gas and everything else. And this, it doesn't cost that much, you know. Now you go back, talk to Bearded 10 years ago, and you'd be like, you are crazy, future Beard. And even then, he didn't have really a beard, so he didn't know. He wasn't wise. I'm wise. My beard shows that. Now, sitting on the bike all the time, do everything I can to look at this bike. My dad has this little Yamaha. The name it escapes me. It's like a little 125. And, you know, it looked like a damn bicycle with me on it. But I started riding it, getting, you know, around town, got my first full face helmet in, so that way I could go ride. I got my permit. I was all about it. It was everything I could do. Well, we had just finished really fixing that Yamaha up, and it didn't have the right tune on it. Blew a hole through the piston. Boom! Talked to a guy that really knows those bikes, and he's like, yeah, the air fuel ratio was off, like it's fine until you really had to put it under a load, and it was taking that damn bike up this hill, this crazy hill. Boom, done. Grenade, whatever you wanna. That thing was shot. Ooh man, it's pretty up here. So that happens. I had barely been riding it. But it was fun. I was already trying to like get the hang of it. My dumb ass starts riding the bobber. First real bike to ride. That first day, I don't know if I was wearing my brown pants, but at the end of the day, I was. And I'm not joking at all, guys. I've had people hit me up and they're like, is this a good first bike? No, it's not. There's plenty of other bikes that are really good starter bikes. The bobber, if you don't respect it, will show you who's king. That bike, I've watched videos where they're like, all right, yeah, here we go, and they're just putting around town. Man, this would be fantastic for a first rider. And they say this because the bike is so well balanced, very smooth, and easy to deal with. If you have already been riding, okay? If not, you're like, oh, here's the throttle, and oh no! Once you get to that halfway mark, you get those RPMs up on that bike, it goes. So if you're not one to look stupid, trying to take off and fiddle with the clutch and all that stuff, oh crap. Well, I get 2,200 miles on this bike. I go take my class, and I felt really good at my class. You know, I'm on this little Honda 250, and just dipping. People there were like, man, you've been riding for a while, huh? And I was like, no, like a couple months, man. And they're like, what? They thought I just didn't have my license yet. And I'm like, no. And my instructor, Justin, is no longer with us. He was amazing. Like, this dude, instant connection with this guy and he wanted to know when you left there that you were going to be alive on the roads, that he put you on the road and you were going to stay rubber side down, you know, shiny side up. He wanted nothing else but that for you. And I wish I would have taken that class first. And I tell everyone this: take the class, take the class, take the class. One day I would like to take the next class and just, you know, learn more. So, I mean, if you guys are just suddenly watching this channel and thinking about riding, somehow are on this video, you know, check out Dan the Fireman. He's got some really good stuff with his instructional videos and books to read. But find a class near you, take the right steps. Now, all that being said, man, it is gorgeous out here. The Indian Scout Bobber is what brought me back into the motorcycle world. And at the time, my dad had already gotten rid of that Harley that he had. Now he's had a couple Harleys. You guys have seen those on the channel. And he's back to riding. And you could tell he was nervous when I went to do it. He had that like baby boy moment that like my son's gonna be riding, and it's scary out there with the freeway. You know, the freeways were way different than when he was a kid. But we've been out riding together. He watches my videos, he sees, he knows what I'm doing, you know. I handle myself well, I think. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna try me some Picasso. Let's do some Picassoing. Failed off-road attempt. Man. This is gorgeous though. Okay. So the Indian Scout Bobber, like I said, has really brought me and my dad together with riding. And there's gonna be a lot of people, oh, it could be anything, blah 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 blah. No, dude. I had seen my dad's Harley. And okay, let's take it back a second. I now have a fascination with a lot of bikes. Okay, I like the baggers from Harley, the FXDR. You know, I am a huge fan of motorcycles. I want a Harley Breakout, you know, like a bike like that. Now, would I look at it as hard as if any had one? I don't know. But I have looked at Harleys. I've looked at used baggers. I almost had a used Road Glide. Didn't happen. I probably would have traded it though. It wasn't the nice newer one, okay? Like Canadian Chris, Blue Bike and Doyle, they have the nice looking Road Glide. The model before, no thanks, man. No thanks. Good. Okay. But I would have rode it for a little while. I would have totally used it. I'm not dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I also had the Bobber, and the Bobber's what did it. And the Bobber's still home, and there's a reason. That Scout motor is just fantastic. The looks are fantastic. I still look at old photos and kind of want to take it back to what it was, but I love riding it the way it is. I win the lottery, I'm gonna go get a stock one, and I'm having side by side, and well, I'm gonna have way too many bikes. Would I buy Harleys? Yes. Triumph? Yes. There's a lot of bikes I would buy. But the whole reason I'm even looking at them was that Indian Scout Bobber. The whole reason I'm doing YouTube, okay? That Indian Scout Bobber put me down a rabbit hole like no other. I watched all of Brandon Picasso's videos. I watched Jay Pass's videos. It didn't matter what it was. If it had that in it, I was watching it. That's how I learned of Dazzle and Open Roader and all those guys. And to answer what it means to me for riding, well, this. Look at this. Get this out of the way. Look at that. That thing really does help block wind. I was able to come out here and like be free and talk to you guys. And the first part of this trip, I didn't have this stuff going. And the reason was, it was time to myself. I've never gotten to do a long trip like this. Besides, like, I have done long trips like this, okay, but by myself completely. And for shits and giggles. Today is shits and giggles. Going to Amboy and back around because Joshua Tree was closed. Because social distancing or whatever, I don't fucking know. But I'm out here feeling the air, relaxing. I'm not stuck at home, which I have been. And I'm not saying, like, I'm saying if you're gonna leave the house right now, be safe, but I'm just talking about what riding means to me, guys. No need to nitpick it. It is a lifestyle, and people know that. I am ridiculously stoked. I love being out on the road. I like days like this, though, where, like, I stopped and got my camera and stuff out, and I just sat there for a minute, you know. I just relaxed, and I was in the middle of this air, just nothing around me. I don't know. It's a cheesy thing to say freedom is what riding means to me, but is there a better word? I can't think of one. Makes me feel young, makes me feel, I don't want to say fearless. I have no stress though when I'm out on the bike. And that's something you're free from. You're free from your stress. So I used to go on road trips a long time ago from back to my hometown in Kingman. And from my work life out here in California to go back home and have that relaxed feeling, that's riding. Riding is like, it's that feeling of home. You're home on the bike. You're just chilling. Well, guys, I hope I answered that. I have no idea how long this video is. It ain't short, that's for fucking sure. Alright, guys. Whoever stuck around this long, I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying healthy, staying safe, and like always, staying classy. Later, guys.